Our next speaker is Mike Campagna. Mike and his family have lived in Sonora since 1997. He's been a Twitterholic since November of 2008. And one of his Twitter followers describes him as the jogging, blogging, tweeting pastor. His day job is information technology social media specialist for Sugar Pine Realty, a local real estate company. That said, please welcome Pastor Mike.
I was telling Greg, and I'm glad he hasn't started the timer yet. I tell him, you know how hard it is for a preacher to stick to time? It's just not going to work. Good morning. My name is Mike Campagna, affectionately known by some as Pastor Mike. I'm a heart for God on Twitter and Blog Boy too. Each of those sites has 50,000 followers. In a moment, I'll offer you 5 tips on how to gain 50,000 followers on Twitter based on the acronym TWEET. So you're going to want to stick around for that. But before that, I want to offer you my story. Boy, those lights are bright. As we're discussing social media and its many uses as it relates to business, government, education, entertainment, I'm going to be bringing the perspective from the spiritual side and how social media can be used to get a spiritual message out. I started tweeting in November 2008, a relatively late date compared to the gurus. I'd been blogging since 2005 or so, but didn't really plug in with social media until later. Let me just say, social media changed everything. If you know anything about blogging, you know that bloggers can spend years blogging with relatively few readers. Enter onto that scene social media, and Twitter in particular. Twitter offers the incredible ability to reach thousands of followers and from all over the world in 140 characters or less. And so that's what began happening. My blog posts actually were getting read as I began tweeting them. Tens of thousands of visits. My video blogs were being watched, hundreds of thousands of those. Both were being retweeted. It was a video blogger's dream come true. I connected with people on Twitter as well, which is the most important thing, isn't it? Like this message from Konstantin Dorichev recently. He tweeted, "A heart for God. I enjoy reading your worship-focused tweets. It helps me prepare for the day as I commute to work in Russia." That was on April 12, 2011. If you go to his Twitter site, @KDorichev, his location is Moscow. You'll see some of his tweets in Russian. And so I've connected with people on Twitter, and I use this example as a way of encouragement. I've also connected with people on Twitter to pray. Like this DM from Kimberly McCarthy, @KMac for him on the East Coast of the United States. A heart for God. Thanks for the prayers for our son. The surgery went well. He should recover and get full use of his hand. That was on April 28th, 2011. And so I've connected with people on Twitter to pray. I've also connected with people on Twitter to answer their spiritual questions. And actually, I had an example I was going to use here, but I want to skip through that because I'm looking at that timer over there, Greg. But you can imagine all the spiritual questions on this last Saturday, May 21st, that were coming in. You can just imagine. And so I've connected with people on Twitter to answer their spiritual questions. I've also connected with people on Twitter to provide teaching material in their own spiritual setting. A gentleman on the Big Island of Hawaii emailed me, "Aloha, Pastor Mike. I know you through Twitter, and I really enjoy your videos. I'm teaching a Sunday school class in our church, and we'll begin a new quarter this Sunday. As a supplement to the regular material, I'd love to go through your 7 Last Sayings of Jesus series leading up to Easter. Would you be all right with this? Is there any way I could download these videos? If so, would you like to be compensated for them? Thank you and God bless. That was Twitter follower @MarkFromHawaii on February 25th, 2009. So that was a ways back. Of course I said, go for it, Mark. Go for it. So I've connected with people on Twitter to provide teaching material to use in their own spiritual setting. I've also connected with people on Twitter to teach online Bible studies, to participate in online song services. Check out the hashtag #TWorship, Monday through Friday, 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific. And then now finally, probably the one connection I remember most is Jennifer Johns at Going by Faith in California. You know, my daughter said, "Dad, don't cry today. Don't cry." I said, you know how hard that is for me? I'm Italian after all. Jennifer Johns. I had no idea when I made the video An Appointment with God that it was meant for her. And what an impact it would have. She would turn it into a blog post on her own blog, goingbyfaith.com. By the way, she's in California in the Bay Area, Jennifer Johns. She writes, over a year ago, I knew someone who needed to change. The person was me. Before God blessed me with a new life, I was asking for help. I was asking people, books, counselors, myself, whatever seemed to bring peace into the picture. One day, about a month before I first went to a Christian sermon, and while randomly posting something on Twitter, I saw a few lines scroll by my computer screen about 2 thieves who died next to Jesus. I felt compelled to click on the link for some reason, and it took me to a 6-minute video. I didn't know what to think, but for some reason I didn't think. I watched. It's about 2 men who have an appointment with God, serendipity. You'll recognize the setting of the story immediately. And you might ponder how you have or haven't changed. You might even listen to it with another. It's only 6 minutes long. She goes on, it's a choice to change. God sets up the appointment time, and we have a choice to recognize that it is in fact time to change. True and lasting change does not come from people or things. Life change, transformational change, occurs only at a soul level between you and God at the scheduled hour. You know when that hour is at hand. She closes, thank you, Pastor Mike, for sharing videos of God's message. And so to the question, does God use Twitter too? The answer is God uses Twitter too. I want to offer you now 5 tips to help you gain 50,000 followers on Twitter based on the acronym TWEET. By the way, I already have a video blog of this portion already at aheartforgod.net. You can go there right now and actually watch it before I even deliver it, okay? So let's get going here. The first letter is T for tools. Take advantage of the tools. Visit 140.com. I use Hootsuite to automate tweets and Twitterator on my iPod Touch so I can be mobile. I use Tweepy to manage followers. Take advantage of the tools. The second letter is W, stands for write, W-R-I-T-E. Write, and write some more. Combine blogging with tweeting. Tell a story, your story. Find your voice. Earn the right to be heard. Write, and write some more. The third letter is E for engage. What did Captain Picard do when he wanted to venture out into space? Do you remember? He'd say engage. That's what I'm talking about here. Interact with your followers. Promote their stuff too. Add value to the community. Boy, I'm getting preaching here and I got a minute left. Engage to help build your followership. I think you're hearing me on that one. The next letter is another E. Encourage. It's the foundation of everything I do. The one thing people need in these challenging times is hope. I try to give it. Encourage. And now the fifth and final letter in the acronym TWEET to help you gain 50,000 followers on Twitter is another T, time. You need to allow time for results. Don't quit tweeting after a day, week, month, or year. Keep at it. Nothing worthwhile comes overnight. You need to allow time for results. Someone here is going to take this advice, tools, write, engage, encourage, time, tweet, and you're going to take it to the next level. You're going to gain tens of thousands of followers, and you're going to make an impact. And people in the Twitter sphere are going to be the better for your having tweeted. Thanks for allowing me to share my story with you today. God bless.